During a joint press conference Wednesday between President Trump and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, the Turkish leader told One American News Christians may start reclaiming the sanctuaries that they have lost in northern Syria. However, there's still concerns among some Christians over the hostility the religious group has faced under Erdogan's regime. One America's Emerald Robinson sat down with a priest who spends time helping persecuted Christians in Iraq and Syria.
Father Benedict, we're so pleased to have you here joining us on One American News. You have been on the ground in Syria. You're seeing this crisis firsthand for several years. Can you just give us the lay of the land where we are at this point?
Well, Emerald, thank you for having me. I think it's really important to always realize that it's much more complicated than we often think. It's very easy to give simplistic solutions. I'm very concerned, obviously, with the persecuted Christians, both in Iraq and in Syria. And it's tough. It's still tough. The problem in Syria is there's still an ongoing war. But where the government is winning, the government of President Assad, it has to be said, Christians are returning and Christians are feeling safe. Now that seems sort of counterintuitive because no one pretends that the government of President Assad he's not Mother Teresa. However, Christians feel safe because he allows all religions to live in peace together. The problem is where the rebels are. Most of the rebels are jihadis now. Based
on your experiences in Syria, could you give us an accurate picture of who the Kurds are and how they relate to what's happening in Syria, but also the persecuted Christians?
Now the Kurds it's a land grab basically, and the Christians are once again feeling pushed out. Syria is also difficult because there's a different group of Kurds. Some have been very helpful towards the Christians, some have not been very helpful. It's so complicated. The one thing that's for sure is no one wants the Turks. The Turks are no good for anyone, and especially not the Christians. They will be attacking, they already are attacking Christian villages, driving Christians out.
So in this latest policy put forth by the Trump administration, where it has allowed the Turks to have more control over northern Syria and where the U.S. had been more present, how has this brought about change? You're saying that Christians are seeing amplified attacks once again from the Turkish?
I can understand the president's desire to pull troops out. No one in a sense is saying American troops should be giving their lives. The problem is who's winning? The Russians are winning, very clearly. The Russians, have you seen Putin recently? He's got a big smile on his face all the time. The Russians are winning, the Iranians are winning. Increasingly, the Chinese are winning. When I was in Damascus just a few weeks ago, there's a lot of Chinese product there suddenly, and I said, are the Chinese getting a foothold here? Yes, they are.
So in trade, they're getting more of a trade, huh?
Yeah. So the U.S. has to think about those sort of things, but yes,
Is that due to U.S. sanctions?
Yes, unfortunately, and this is also politically incorrect, but sanctions are really harming the ordinary Syrian people. So it's a win in a way for the U.S. to have some relationship with the government of Syria.
Well, thank you very much, Father, for providing your experience, your perspective on this, as you said, very, very complicated and complex topic of Syria and Turkey and the Christians and the Kurds and all the entities in that region.
Bless you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.